I'm back again. Let's watch the parade, and I'll answer your questions on all things Social Security while we watch the festivities. All right, if you're new to my channel, my name is Ed Weir. Ran this third busiest Social Security office in the country, and also a former. Once you're in the Marine Corps, you're kind of never out of the Marine Corps mentally, but I was a sergeant in the Marine Corps as well, so. Hey everyone. Wow, what did that just pop up there? Yeah, that's definitely where, if they're looking for fraud, waste, and abuse, they should have definitely started with the military. Department of Defense hasn't passed an audit, have pretty much never passed an audit, except for one branch. There's one branch of the military that passed an audit recently. And what do they say? I'll give you three guesses, and the first two don't count. Guess what is the Marine Corps? The Marine Corps actually passed an audit. It was only the service that passed an audit, but they definitely need to do something. There is I might have to show the video, but this one organization did a good analysis of the kind of the pork barrel politics of military contractors. There's basically 5 military contractors, and they can charge pretty much whatever they want. They have cost plus accounting. So the government comes in and says, hey, we need a tank, and we'll pay you however much it costs, plus give you some profit. And that's how they do it. So the company has no motivation, financial motivation to, reduce costs or anything like that, so they can inflate it whatever they want. And they've got ongoing contracts. So once you buy a tank for them, Abrams tank or something like that, then they have a lifetime contract to service that tank, and it's proprietary. So you can't, do anything to fix it, or a lot of the parts. They have total control over that, and that definitely has to change. That's where a lot of the money is going to. But they decided to go after Social Security. Yeah, decided to go after Social Security and Medicare and all the rest of it.
So the only concern is when they pivot steer or when they turn, they potentially
yes, disgraceful, and it's our money being used.
So what we've done is put out inch-thick steel at those locations where they turn to prevent any type of damage to the National
With all of our problems, people cannot afford food, really. How much food would this have purchased? A lot of food. Yeah, we were just, I just did my live. If you're new here, I just did my live, and a lot of people were saying that they're dependent on Meals on Wheels, and that's going away. And yeah, it could have definitely helped out a lot of people.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, marching in parades.
DJ should have to pay for this out of his own pocket.
It's training. It's preparing to fight. So.
Hi, USA. Happy 250th birthday. Happy Flag Day. Happy birthday, DDT.
They do it. And so it's a good chance to just display that to the American people. I think it's
so much for fraud, waste, and abuse. Spent my taxpayer dollars on helping my fellow Americans.
We don't do this a whole lot. We're really mission focused. But it is a good time. 250 years. We don't do this very often. It's a great opportunity to show all the Americans, like, this is what we do.
You're watching this on C-SPAN.
Got to give him, his salute is not too bad. I've seen other presidents do not very good salutes. That salute, I always try to be fair to everybody. That salute is not too bad. He's got his hands lined up there fairly well. So, Marine Corps sergeant, yeah.
It was first used in Operation Desert Shield, Desert Storm in 1991. It is also seeing active use in Ukraine.
Yeah, a lot of veterans. I myself, I don't believe, well, I don't think we are the military parades type of people. I never thought we would do a military parade on like this. So, I mean, you know, you have, you know, the Marine Corps silent drill team and stuff like that. You know, they're out there, and you know, it's kind of an advertisement. But this type of military parade, I don't think it's appropriate in America. That's my opinion.
Sent to deployments and conflicts around the globe since it was founded, the division returned to Fort Lewis in 1971.
We couldn't make it to your birthday party, DJT, but we did pay for it.
The 7th Division, originally called the Hourglass Division due to their patch design, gained the nickname Bayonet Division during their deployment to Korea in June of 1950. At Incheon Landing and during the liberation of Seoul, they were credited with plunging the bayonet into the
He has
heart
never
of the
paid
enemy,
out of his own
with
pockets.
13 members of the division receiving the Medal of Honor. The 7th enables and sustains the combat readiness of 2 Stryker Brigade combat teams and a Combat Aviation Brigade.
Oh, there are some female soldiers there. How much of this show? I've seen different numbers, anywhere from 30 to 40 million or so. I guess the tanks running on the streets, they're going to have to repair the streets as well from all the tanks.
Of everything the Army does, we are continuously transforming. Army careers span the spectrum from attorneys to astronauts and mechanics to engineers.
So my question is, since 1933, historical question, I love these. We haven't been able to pay for anything or own anything since FDR called in the gold. So, Mr. SS, how about telling us how to get access to our Treasury Direct Securities? If you're getting a Social Security check, there you go. Cash the check. Done. So, that's how you do it. This is expensive employee. Oh, thank you for the $1.99. I appreciate it.
The ISB provides enhanced tactical mobility of an infantry brigade combat team. This allows commanders greater freedom of movement and action.
He didn't sign up to salute and serve his country when it was time to serve. Good point.
Flexibility to ensure infantry units maintain momentum to achieve mission success.
Looks toasted. Not the good type of toasted either. Thanks to all the men and women who served. Yes, absolutely. Does anyone besides DJT actually get excited by a military parade? I think he had parade envy when he went to France and they had the Bastille Day parade. So he said, "Oh, we need to get one of those." And I think he's been, ever since. Storming the Bastille. I went to high school in Paris, Texas, and we celebrated Bastille Day in Paris, Texas. Yes, we did. Of course we did. And yes, there is an Eiffel Tower in Paris, Texas. And yes, it does have a cowboy hat on the top of it. Yes. So if you're ever on your bucket list, go to the Eiffel Tower in Paris, Texas. Hey, Paris, Texas. I'm trying to keep my anger under control for my own good, but man, it's hard sometimes. Oy. There's no people there. They had to pay people to show up to the parade. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I haven't seen any. But that's anytime there's a protest, the other party always says, "Oh, they're just paying people to show up." And yeah, come on. History repeats itself. First is a tragedy, and second is a farce. Karl Marx. Because did Metallica grant rights for this? Because if they didn't, they will sue. Yeah, that's a good point there. Maybe I should. Let's reduce the volume there on this one.
When duty calls, U.S. Army soldiers don't just answer, they lead. From Fort Bragg, witness a powerful demonstration of strength, purpose, and the
Thank you for that point. Yeah, when
unmatched
the
of
music comes
today's
on,
Army.
I'll mute it. So thank you for that, because I don't want to get popped either.
The Army has made me see my potential, and I feel like it's molded me into a better person.
I grew up in a very patriotic household. My grandfather, he served in World War II, and his brother, my uncle, served in Vietnam. I can do this. If they can do this, I can do this.
When I was born, my dad was still serving in the military, and him coming home in his uniform, I'm like, yeah, I want to do that.
Clear for takeoff.
My motivation, I think it follows in line. I think with what my family's done is kind of a sense of duty to serve our country and give back since it's given us so much.
I'm a very, let's say, timid person, but definitely helped me become a more confident person.
Working with a group and my peers, it really shows how much working with a team can strengthen you.
All right, ready to go? Ready to go? I derive a lot of purpose from serving others. I think serving something bigger than myself gets me out of bed every day. If you power it up, you power it up.
I definitely pushed myself further than I ever thought I could go.
I joined the military service because I want to deploy. That's my main goal, is deploy, deploy, deploy.
If we get the call, we have to go somewhere, we'll do what needs to be done. That's just the way we operate here.
This is one of the few jobs in the nation where we all take an oath to say, I'm willing to put my life on the line for you, and they're willing to put their life on the line for me.
This is what we train for. This is what I want to do. My team leaders and squad leaders, they know exactly what to do. Check equipment, check weapons, check ammo.
Been there, done
We're
that.
always ready to deploy within 18 hours
Spy rigging.
and handle the mission at task. We jump so frequently so that our jump masters and paratroopers are ready to deploy.
I'm very passionate about being a jump master. The paratroopers, they see you and, you know, they believe in you. I love to instill that confidence with my passion into those paratroopers. It's a rush. It's great.
Drop them clear for personnel drop.
This week we honor 250 years of valor and glory and triumph by the greatest fighting force ever to walk the face of the earth, the United States Army. For 2.5 centuries, our soldiers have marched into the raging fires of battle and obliterated America's enemies.
I love the Army. It is a great place to set yourself up for success, to prepare yourself for the future.
God bless you, God bless our soldiers, and God bless the U.S. Army.
Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson, Alaska is the home to America's Arctic Angels, who execute expeditionary operations worldwide, conduct multi-domain operations in the Indo-Pacific Theater and the Arctic, and on order decisively defeat any adversary in extreme cold weather, mountainous and high-latitude environments through large-scale combat operations. The Angels are the Army's only Arctic division, Masters of Arctic Warfare, the 11th serves worldwide in all climates. Established in November of 1942, the Angels of the 11th Airborne Division led the way in the Philippines during World War II and spearheaded an amphibious invasion of Luzon and distinguished themselves during the liberation of Manila. After periods spent inactive and stationed in Germany from 1963 to 65, the division operated as the 11th Air Assault Division with the mission of testing and refining the Army's helicopter-centric air mobility doctrine. Activated once again in June of 2022, they remain dedicated to defending America's interests throughout the Arctic, in Alaska, and beyond. The 11th Airborne Division, America's Arctic Angels.
And Lieutenant General, you just left that division.
I did. A great division, the Arctic Angels of the 11th Airborne Division. Major General Joe Hilbert and Sergeant Major Hanson doing a great job out there. All those paratroopers. A unique division. It's both airborne and air assault. There's nothing like it out there. And if you've gone into any conditions at 30 below, 40 below zero, it's life-changing. If you don't train in that environment like they do, you're not going to be able to survive. So someone needs to do that for America. That's what they do.
We've entered the parade has entered the modern era, so to speak. What does that mean to the Army to be in the modern era in preparation of a soldier?
Yeah, so going back to technology and what do we need in order to win, this fight and then the next fight. So again, ensuring that we leverage everything that we have from that standpoint so that our service members, they have an overwhelmingly unfair advantage when they go into that fight.
Elaborate on that unfair advantage.
Well, so ultimately, I know if I train harder, I know if I, put in the effort that's needed, I will will myself to beat my enemy, right? And I love sports. We do use sports analogies all the time. But that's
Bella was here during the live Q&A we just had. So she's doing good. She was here a little about 30 minutes ago during my live Q&A.
That person or that organization.
Lieutenant General, what has to be done?
Thank you for looking out for our regular viewers. You were too awesome. We've got the best community here, don't we?
We got to continue to do hard, tough, challenging training, Pedro. Like I mentioned
for those new
earlier,
people,
if
you don't know who I am,
they've got to be tough.
My name's Ed Weir.
And we're taking
I ran the third business Social Security office in the country, and I do videos pretty much on a daily basis, and I help people with all things Social Security. Make sure you and your family and friends getting all your Social Security benefits, retirement benefits, disability, survivor benefits, Medicare, Medicaid, and all the rest of it. So I'll also have a website that I've got a whole bunch of free resources. Retirement calculators, information on how to get the benefits you're entitled to, and they're all 100% free resources. Go to mygovexperts.com
and that's what we need to do
check them out.
America is worth it.
To what degree is it the little things that helps that along? The way your uniform fits on you, the shine on your shoes, everything else. How do the little things add up?
I was the king of spit shine when I was in the Marine Corps. I could, you could.
A lot of times they're sort of counter. You think of pride.
My boots looked like a mirror. I was really good at spit shine. The trick is to light it on fire.
At what I'm doing, and I think that's part of what we're trying to instill. You have that pride and discipline. Discipline means, you're doing some things that are really hard.
There's the United States of America, e pluribus unum. But politicians, that's how they get elected, is they divide us and they make us go after each other and complain.
And studying
so
hard.
we can we can be against particular policies, but we always have to,
because we really have to be
respect each other.
We can't be halfway. We can't be average. We got to be above average, because as Smoke said, we're going to go up against a determined enemy. And what's going to make the difference? It's going to be that discipline. It's going to be that hard training that he talked about. It's going to be your fitness, your mental toughness. All of that will carry the day. And we've seen that for 250 years. It works.
Sergeant Major, we talked a little bit about the recruitment. I know that the Army is currently working on a program to help people prepare if they want to enlist, they get their grades up or get their physical required. How does that program work? How does it fit into this idea of those who get recruited or enlist in the Army?
Yeah, so the Future Soldier Preparatory Course, great initiative that was started about 2 years ago to ensure.
All right, Jenny, how you take care of yourself?
You might not right now have the grades, the aptitude in order to make it. We'll put you in kind of a transition period.
We have to make it true.
We will educate you. You know, we've had some phenomenal.
We have to stop falling for the
educators
politicians'
that are on our
tricks to
team
divide
that,
us.
You know, they don't teach the tests. They
say, yep,
literally
I
they give them
completely
reps and
disagree
steps
with
so
that
they
person's
understand the
opinion, but
importance
as
of what they need
someone
to
said
do in
earlier,
order to have the appropriate
you have your right
grade in order to pass. Now, on the physical side, I think that's the most impressive thing that we've seen.
I think we're all trying to get
We've
to kind
seen,
of, one particular party thinks the best goal is here, and the other party thinks the other best goal is this other place.
But we
and they have different,
and we say, look, we're going to teach you how to eat.
They still want to make
we're going to teach you how to sleep.
America
we're
great,
teach you how to work out.
But what that actually looks like, I guess that's the issue, right? And how to get to there.
Of that, and what we've seen when they graduate. Not just that course, they graduate basic combat training.
Wow, look at all the
to
empty
their
seats.
First unit of assignment, and they are doing as well as service members who do not go through that preparatory course. So we see that it's working. And a lot of that has to do, again, I go back to the educators on the aptitude side, but also with the drill
There's a lot of
sergeants
people on this other side. Wonder why people aren't sitting down. Well, if that's for VIPs or something like that. So it looks like there's a lot of people there, at least what we're seeing now. But notice the bleachers,
but maybe
not many people there. Must have been kind of a controlled area or something.
That we're not lowering standards. We're trying to help them and coach them and get them to meet the standards. And so we've been very successful with that. And so we're watching long term, how do they perform? And as Sergeant Major said, they're performing very well. They're not reversing back. They're not, performing poorly. They're performing as equally as good as their peers that did not go through that course. So we see a lot of that, and that's really helped us out a lot.
This modern era of the Army, what are we preparing for these days?
Well, we're always watching our potential adversaries out there around the world. We see, some of our potential adversaries. We see what's happening in the European theater of what's going on. We're watching how the drone fight that's going on, electronic warfare. We're looking at
raised in
space
Japan.
And cyber. Looking at how they use artificial intelligence. We know what some of our adversaries in Asia and in China, what they're trying to do. They're, technically they're already at war with
please hit subscribe, share.
Scale in regards to stealing information.
I don't do these very often. Mostly 95% of the time I stick to Social Security type stuff, answering your questions on all things Social Security and trying to keep your benefits around for the future.
Soldiers don't decide to go to war.
Trying to mix it up every now and then.
Civilian leaders decide that. We have to be ready and prepared for it. So we do not want to waste a waking minute and put our head on a pillow until we're prepared for those things. And we have to think differently. We have to watch, we have to observe, but we also have to put some of this technology out there that, some people are not willing
for
to
the
change, right? And
donation, we
have to get
appreciate
past
it.
that. And I think we're doing that with a lot of the systems that we're trying to do with our transformation and contact and our initiative to be continuously transformation. Because the biggest thing that happens now, as opposed to in previous years, I think the need to change happens at a much faster cycle. And you have to go faster. So our whole industrial base, our congressional,
you almost said military industrial complex
process has to speed up because we can't take years to develop something. We have to do it in months or weeks and be able to do that faster to adapt.
If that's the requirements, what does it mean for the person enlisting today?
Yeah, so we can have all the technology in the world, but if we don't invest into our service members, it really comes down to those interpersonal skills. What is going to drive you to ensure that you want to attack that hill? What is going to drive you to ensure that when the bullets are flying, that your head is in the game, and ultimately you are looking out for that person to your left and to your right. So again, we continue to take a look at what we're investing in our education, in our professional military education system, as well as our holistic health and fitness.
How often does that get a review to make sure that you're up to date to say what people could get in the civilian side?
Yeah, so I think that is routine. What we've seen over the last probably 3 to 4 years is, again, our systems have been a little slow. By the time we come out with something new within the Army, on the civilian side, we're already years behind. So our leadership has done a phenomenal job to ensure that as something is identified, what do we need to do immediately to either A, get into a service member's hand, or B, how can we put in a doctrine so that we're teaching within our professional military education system.
That's right.
You want to add to that?
Yeah, I was just going to say Secretary Driscoll General George have done a great job of trying to cut through the bureaucracy, cut through some processes that maybe we've always done, and we're wedded to that process, but actually we don't need to do that process anymore because this system is antiquated. And I think that's what we're trying to do with the acquisition with getting new things, just like drone warfare. I mean, that changes almost on a weekly, monthly basis. You can't have to stick on one type of thing and get it. You got to be able to change. You got to be able to adapt. You got to have some flexible funding and all that. So that's what we're working with Congress and the Department of Defense to get things faster and more.
Yeah, I don't think they're necessarily marching, huh? Yeah, I kind of noticed that too.
The U.S. Army Personnel Deputy Chief of Staff, also joining us, Sergeant Major Christopher Stevens,
Was that
U.S.
a
Army
drone
Personnel
camera?
Senior Enlisted Advisor, and you watching the parade at home. We take you back to it.
You're welcome. While we're watching this, I always like to take advantage of y'all while you're here. And so if you got any Social Security questions, retirement, anything like that, I'm always, anytime I'm doing anything else, I'm talking about whatever else I'm talking about, I am always willing to answer any questions y'all have on all things Social Security and disability, survivor benefits, Medicare, Medicaid. So ask away. Y'all still carrying on? Wow. How do y'all feel? A little boy asked his father, Dad, I am going to fight for our country. Dad, I love you, son. I'm proud of you. Son's going to war. And
They are showcasing the Army's Transformation in Contact Initiative, a program that allows the Army to rapidly test, evaluate, and equip our soldiers with the newest technologies. Modern, mobile, and mission-ready, the Bastogne Brigade continues to adapt.
as we're seeing the war in Iraq, this is definitely the future right there. I mean,
they are carrying the next
ever seen a drone show? They got thousands and thousands of those. You put a little exploding device on there, and wow, it changes everything.
The vehicles are the infantry squad vehicle, a new mobility asset that can rapidly move through most terrain types. The trailer is the S-MET, and it's capable
It would have been a
of
parade,
carrying heavy loads
250 or
under
not,
its own
and there'll be
power
one
for
next year as
restricted
well.
terrain.
So.
This platoon is equipped with 3 types
Oh,
of
because
small
of his
unmanned
birthday?
aerial systems. They are the Ghost X, located on the S-MET, the C-100, and right above us there, the X-10D, which are flying above the formation right now.
Yeah, it's definitely the kind of, it just doesn't, it just seems strange, doesn't it? Yeah. Even in my graduation march, we were on time, in time, and same with my son's basic graduation at Fort Jackson. Yeah. That's what they did most of the time in Marine Corps boot camp, teach you how to march and stay on time. I used to call cadence, run and called cadence, made up my own cadences. Yeah, but for, it wasn't terrible. His salute wasn't terrible. Wasn't the French parade colorful and kind of cheerful? Yeah. The French parade was definitely a lot more colorful and cheerful, strong as the Bastille. At the point when everyone was. Yeah, one of the things about the drones, you got those radio interference systems that can shut it down, but I guess there's now one of the little fiber optics where rather than radio controlled, it's actually directly controlled through a fiber optic little line. And so you can't disrupt the radio waves because it is directly connected. I guess it can go up to like a mile. So there's like a mile of little, very, very thin, like, fishing line type thing that can go out there and control the drone.
They offer mobility and firepower, a fearsome combination.
Oh, that the old guy with the mustache, the WWF announcer, one of the yes, yeah, what was his old name? I forget. Love the drone. Yes, happy birthday to the U.S. Army. Guitar solos obnoxious. Yeah, I agree with Bess. The best present for the 250th birthday of the Army would have been spending the money on unhoused and food insecure veterans. Hear, hear. Yeah, there's fiber optic lines that are controlling the drones, yes.
64 Apache. It's the premier attack helicopter in the world. The Apache entered service in the mid-1980s and continues to evolve and modify to meet worldwide threats. It can deliver intense fire on the battlefield with an array of aerial rockets.
Overpaid by Social Security is probably the major reasons is if you're filing for retirement benefits early under your full retirement age and you continue to work and you make over the limit, this year's the $23,400, then yeah, you're going to get overpaid. The other reasons is people that are receiving disability benefits that don't stay within the work incentive parameters, they get overpaid. People on SSI, which is the welfare-based program, supplemental security income, anytime they've getting any type of money coming in, if they delay reporting it, that's an overpayment. So, and sometimes Social Security just makes incorrect calculations.
Special thanks to our sponsor, Lockheed Martin.
Oh, there's a sponsor. Wow, did y'all hear that? Oh, wow. So.
Now, let's roll on to the future of Army readiness. The Army Research Laboratory robot dogs reflect the latest in Army
Thank you, Deborah. Appreciate it.
Look at this. Much like a true canine,
First time doing something like
robots can
this.
go where
Figured I'd mix it up a little bit.
They have increased mobility, improved tactical awareness, reduced risk to soldiers, and enhanced teamwork. Replacing soldiers, robot dogs can explore terrain that may be difficult for soldiers to
Thank you,
traverse,
Barbara. Appreciate it.
dispose of explosive ordnance and act in defensive posture or aggressive capacity.
Oklahoma freedom. There we go. Opinions all over the place, and that's why America is the best country in the world. There you go. Because we have the freedom to be as stupid as we possibly can, or smart as we possibly can, or change our minds anytime we want. So, all right, good deal. Coming from someone that lived right across the border in Texas, the Red River there, we lived in a dry county, so we would have to go to Oklahoma to get alcohol at 15, 16 years old. No, I didn't say that on camera, did I? So thank you, Oklahoma, for, yes, making me a bad teenager.
The Ghost Robot Dog is another innovation that can adapt seamlessly for various missions from recon to bomb recognition. These dogs reduce risk and support
can't watch. Don't want to lose my dinner.
Standard walk speed of 2 miles per hour and are working towards 6.7 miles per hour sprint.
One of those Boston Robotics ones. Oh, okay, good deal. So you helped you are too awesome, helping your cousin get the Social Security, and glad the information you got from here was beneficial. Awesome. Thank you for looking out for other people.
Of the Army. What's important to know about the future of fighting war, especially warfare within the Army?
Well, we can be 100% wrong at guessing what the future warfare is, and we can get it 100% wrong. What we can't
No, I
is
can't
get
help
it
myself.
100%. No, we have to
That
get
is a
some
fact.
of it
I have an
right.
addiction.
So if we're
I'm
not
gonna go into
testing
a
new
12-step
innovative
program for-
ideas, new techniques, tactics, procedures, new technology, as you just saw out there, some autonomous vehicles and things like that. If we're not doing that,
You mentioned that the windfall elimination
so
gave a higher percentage to those that qualified for it. What is the percentage versus those that didn't fall? It really depends on how much you make your entire life, because Social Security,
sometimes they come from the civilian sector, but the whole Army is
the benefit you get from Social Security is based on how much you paid in your entire life. So it knocks down from, then they do a calculation and they multiply one bucket of money by 90%, the other by 30%, 32%, the other by 15%. So people that, don't earn a lot throughout their life can get up to like 90% of what they paid into Social Security. People that paid higher earnings can get like 30%, 35% replacement rate. And what happens is the windfall, that was a windfall. It gave people that seemed like they were poor all their life a higher percentage, like we thought they were poor. It's just that those earnings were not reported to Social Security correctly. And that's where the windfall, they got a windfall. They got a higher percentage than anybody else that worked a similar job. And the provision was to eliminate that windfall. So, but the Social Security Fairness Act got rid of that, which I totally disagree with. That was signed by President Biden. People always say, oh, you talk crap about Trump all the time, but you don't talk about crap about Biden. Yes, I do. The Social Security Fairness Act, he said it expanded Social Security. That's BS. It didn't. It just gave 3% of government workers a higher percentage than anybody else. So I completely disagreed with that. And President Trump also agreed with President Trump about that. So, but they didn't know how the calculations, they just, they were just playing politics. It was all politics. So, yeah, where are the cruise missiles? That would definitely make it 100% North Korea, wouldn't it?
I guess you got to do that as part of your job.
Yeah, and we just saw West Point, United States.
Yeah, I hope to
military
retire in 3 years, and I'm
cost
terrified
with,
my Social
General
Security
Beale,
won't
a good
exist.
friend of mine. We went to
Yeah.
Ranger School in
The
1989
Social Security
together.
Administration
How
will
long I've
continue to
known
exist
him,
for hundreds
but
and hundreds of
even at
years
West Point and trying to recruit the
if
right
we
type of
don't
people that
give it
wanna
over to
serve
Wall
in our
Street.
nation,
If we keep it as it
and
currently
we're
is,
filling
they'll be
that
able to
rank,
pay
and I
out
think that's
benefits for
important that
hundreds
we
of years. The
still
problem
do what
is
we did
the trust
starting
fund is
back in
being depleted, and the
1802
trust fund right
when we
now
first
covers
started West
about
Point,
8%
where
of the
we continue
shortfall.
to get some of
And in a
America's
few
best, and we
years, it's
compete,
going to
quite
cover
frankly,
20% of the
across, you know,
shortfall.
all of
But when
all
it's
the nation
gone,
with
it's
that. We
not going to be
still
able to
have
cover
that
that
type of-
shortfall
and as you see
anymore.
some other,
So
schools like
people are going to get a
VMI,
cut
that's
in their
out
Social
there. I
Security
think
check.
it's set it down.
Everybody,
Texas A&M, you could
about a
see them because they
20%
got
cut
their
in their
boots.
Social Security check
Howdy,
unless we do
uniform.
something.
Howdy,
And
that's right.
politicians have been talking
The
about this
Aggies
for
there,
decades,
just
and they
highlighting
failed to
there's
do
other
anything.
ways to serve.
So
You could go into
this
a
is kind of
visa,
cool. They
ROTC type cert,
put
or
them up
go
in
into,
different
West
era
Point,
costumes.
where you can enlist so many options to make
My
a difference. And
grandfather
we wanna
fought
make
in
sure
World War I
that people
in the Army,
consider
so he was
serving
wounded.
because
And
it is more than what most people,
anytime we went to his house, he always had
understand.
to
Like you
show
said,
us
you
the
just-
old pictures,
you don't have to
the
go
old,
to a brick-and-mortar recruiter. You can
was
just
it the
do a
old
lot
binocular type
online
things where you
now,
put the picture
to
at the
see.
end and
So
you
we're
show us
trying
all
to,
the
as
bodies of
Smoke
the,
said,
the fields and
proliferate
stuff. And he got shot
the
in the
information
shoulder,
so
and he had a
people
hole in
know
his
and can
shoulder.
make a better decision.
Lots
So
of bands, lots of music.
he
and
always
we're
made
able
sure
to take you back
he
to
showed
it.
this ad on a regular basis.
Generations to come.
I am 70. I wish I had waited till now to collect. It was a hard decision to make. Sure didn't see this coming. Yeah. And I've got on my website, the mygovexpert.com, I've got free calculators in there. And one of the calculators, you can put your benefits in there, and it'll tell you when you're going to break even. It got a nice little graph there, and there's a bunch of calculators and free resources information. So make sure you check out my free website, mygovexpert.com. And you see a lot of insider tips, tricks, and secrets about all things Social Security. When you should consider, filing for benefits. Can you get survivor benefits, spouse benefits, independently entitled divorce benefits? When should you start for Medicare, Part A, Part B, Part C, Part D, all of it.
University is home to both Army ROTC and the renowned Corps of Cadets. The Corps of Cadets' central purposes has remained building individuals that
on the 60 month, usually you can do those. It used to be on a 60 month, you would have to fill out the SSA 632, but based on Anderson Cooper's expose on 60 Minutes about a year or so ago, they changed that. So it's pretty easy to do a 60 month now. So you can call the 800 number, and if you're willing to set up a payment plan for the 60 months, 5 years, they should be able to set that up over the phone for you. As long as people are paying their Social Security, they will be there. Yes. We'll get cuts if politicians don't do anything, but Social Security will still be there because we're still going to have people working and paying into FICA taxes. Unless we're all replaced by AI, then all bets are off, right? But that's one of the ways politicians, try to scare people, and they say, hey, Social Security is going bankrupt, it's not going to be here and stuff. And then I would say, okay, politicians, if that's the case, what do you want to do? Well, I want to give it over to my friends on Wall Street, my buddies, so I can, get kickbacks and stuff like that. Oh, okay, that's why you're scaring us in that respect. So Social Security will always be here. It's just how much will it get cut? And I say we shouldn't cut any of it because people need it.
The pride to serve my country knows that I'm doing it not for myself. Every day I put on the uniform, I'm not just representing Caroline Robinson. I'm representing my company here at the Academy. I'm representing West Point. I'm representing the United States Army, and ultimately, I'm representing the United States of America.
I really came to West Point because belief in the American dream and giving back to our country.
You're a part of something that is much bigger than yourself. You're a part of a tradition of excellence and a legacy that's connected not only to the Academy, but to the American Army.
I'm surrounded by people who want to make themselves better and serve our country.
Excellence is their baseline, and that to me is what it means to be a West Point cadet.
From the earliest days of our nation, this supreme tradition of American military service has been passed down from soldier to soldier and generation to generation, and it's a beautiful thing to watch.
My brother preceded me here, And originally, I didn't really know what West Point was until he came. But when I saw the mission that they were committed to, of upholding the principles of American democracy and protecting the Constitution, I knew it was somewhere I had to be.
Every time that we lived outside of the United States, I always developed this sense of gratitude and pride of being an American. And I wanted to give back to my country what it gave to me.
And it wasn't until I zipped up the blouse and I put the belt on for the first time that I realized that I was going to be serving my country, and it felt right. West Point was the place that I needed to be, and more importantly, the Army was where I wanted to be.
I just looked to the left and right over basic training and realized that we all had the same American patch on our shoulders, that we're all fighting for the same thing. I mean, there was no better feeling in the world knowing that every single person around you is committed and willing to die for that mission.
You came for excellence, you came for duty, you came to serve your country, and you came to show yourselves that you are among the smartest, toughest, strongest, most lethal warriors ever to walk on this planet.
What excites me the most about my future in the Army is the opportunity that I'm going to have to give back to the American soldiers that I'm going to be leading.
Because ultimately, they don't get to choose. And to me, it's that burden of responsibility to be the best leader.
And as a young officer, that's going to be exactly what I get to do.
I was the cadet basic training first detail for the first 3 weeks. And I got to see the new cadets come in from their families' homes and being in process on their very first day and watching them grow so quickly.
I would do all the formations, and I looked out at these 1,000 new cadets, people who just come out of high school. They were completely different people.
I don't think there's another institution in the country like West Point where the student body is so committed to furthering the mission of America and ensuring our democracy and freedom for generations to come.
I'm really surrounded by the best of the best, and that's when I realized this is the place that I absolutely want to be.
West Point itself is an amazing institution, but it only provides opportunities. The people here have to choose to take those opportunities and grow and lead and serve. And the people here want to do that. And I'm proud to be a part of that. And I would tell any high schooler who is considering it, you won't regret it.
Left. Pace.
Parade.
Mr. President,
Rest.
First Sergeant Norton, reporting for
Still
duty,
attention.
sir. Ready to commence the ceremony as directed.
I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over me according to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. Congratulations, congratulations. Welcome to the United States Army, and have a great life. Thank you very much. Have a great life. Thank you.
New recruits heading off to boot camp, I guess.
Ranger School is the best life insurance policy for our Army. It will always end with two people facing off with each other, and we need young leaders to be able to close with and destroy the enemy and defend our nation's interests forward.
Surrender is not a Ranger word. It's not an option.
I know that I'm not going to be able to get to do this again. This is my chance.
It all starts at the legendary Ranger School, the crucible where these elite warriors are forged. It has been described as the longest approved gut check in the Army. Over 62 days, students will patrol hundreds of miles over mountains and through swamps under the crushing weight of their equipment. All the while, they are deprived of both food and sleep, forced to perform at the very edge of their physical limits. But it's not just the physical challenges that make Ranger School so intense. The mental strain will break these soldiers down to their core.
If I have a come-to-God moment, I have to take my PC off my patrol cap, and on the inside of that, my commander gave me a Ranger tab, the yellow and black one that you get during graduation, and I pinned it to the inside
My
of
Marine
my
Corps
PC.
boot camp, out of about the 100 people that started, I think about 50 of the 55 or so of the original ones were still there at the
We
end
already didn't have
after 3
enough beds
months.
for people
So
in our
yeah, a lot of
company.
fallout.
And our eyes
Corps boot
reminded
camp.
us that we don't have enough beds because there's not going to be this many people by tomorrow. Just a slight reminder that there's too many of you anyways, and not all of you are going to pass.
Rangers, if you don't figure it out, you're about to get another casualty.
It's completely different than what people would think Ranger School is like, but you can't put that into words, so it's hard to tell somebody something that you have to experience for yourself.
They got a saying, it's called as the tab turns. So Ranger School is continuing to change and to develop, but at the end of the day, it is the same, right? They're always going to put you in scenarios that is going to test with your ability to actually make decisions on the ground.
As you go through Ranger School, it is a gut check. It's going to check you out. And what's going to get you through it is whether you have it or not. Thousands and thousands of soldiers train all their lives to come here, prepare themselves to come to Ranger School, and only a few hundred leave here every class with the tab.
Good Plato quote.
It's not for everyone.
I'm not going to leave until I get it, so just buckle down, stop complaining, and just get the job done.
Please welcome country music sensation and proud supporter of our troops, Warren Ziders.
All right, I think we'll end it there. Y'all have yourself a great night. I will be back again tomorrow, 3 o'clock West Coast time, 6 o'clock East Coast time, and I'll come up with a topic of the day and then answer questions and all things Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid for the rest of the hour. Y'all take care. Have a beautiful, beautiful night, and we will see you next time around. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other.